everyone, this is Lori from the Crafting Auntie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to work on another design team project for Carolyn Musing, and I am going to be using a few various kits, but the main kit is going to be Grunge Vintage Daisies. So let me show you the signature that I have put together. There's two of them. So this is the Grunge Vintage Daisies, and I fell in love with it because it is grungy. So let me just show you, flipping through these two signatures, all the pages. And then I have also added from my stash some coffee dye paper that I get off of Etsy, or also some eco dye paper I also get off of Etsy. But use whatever it is you have to create your signature. There's just the pages in this kit, but I have also decided that I wanted to put in some, of course, scripture verses in this. And so I found this End Your Day Right, and it's the King James Version. And let me show you what comes with that. So you actually, oops, get this all sorted out here and going the right way. I've already cut one out because I do want to use it on the cover. So yeah, I love these because I'm pretty sure that's sunflowers, but you know, sunflowers, daisies, they all kind of go together, and I like the coloring. So the coloring goes well with this. So I've got these, and you get, let's see, about 5 or 6 pages in this kit. So there's various scriptures on here. So this is what they all look like. And then there's some of these smaller ones. And I'll probably be clipping or tucking these in. I'm not sure yet. I kind of have the cover going because I needed to kind of determine what it was I was going to be trying to make. And so I was playing around with some things. So I'll show you that in just a minute. So let's go through the signatures. So this has also some grungy paper to put on the back. So I'll just flip through this kind of quickly so you can see all the beautiful, beautiful daisy pictures in here. Aren't they gorgeous? And I just love the grungy look. Oh, this is also some bubble dye paper that my sister makes for me. She's from Nana's Crafting Cottage. So that is what I've done, trying to make it pretty grungy so I can add some things to some of these pages. Now the kit doesn't come with any ephemera, which is totally fine with me because I have also Carolyn's Amber Spring kit, and quite frankly it goes very well with this. So when I show you the cover, I'll show you what I have done from that kit, and I'll probably be pulling some more things from that kit, ephemera as well. So that was the first signature. Here's the second. Aren't they gorgeous? See how the daisies are? So they look really perfect when you look at these for going together. And, you know, I definitely wanted some scripture in here. So we got this. This is doily paper I get off of coffee dyed paper off of Etsy. So that is my two signatures. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. Absolutely love it. Carolyn, amazing job on this kit. I do like my grunge, and then I do also like, you know, a lot of clean and simple. So I think this goes well together. So those are my two signatures. So my plan then was, I was messing around with 9 by 12 envelopes. So that is what I created here for a cover. And then I covered it with one of the backing papers from the Amber Spring kit. So all I have done is connected 2 of these envelopes. So basically you just want to decide, I wanted my flap to be on this side. So I decided one of these would end up being my flap, and then of course I would kind of create soft spines here, nothing super strong or sturdy, because it was just kind of like going to be like a squishy kind of a cover. And so basically I would lay one down. I'll just kind of show you on this. One down like this. And then I just tuck the other one underneath. And you can trim off any of the excess on here. It just depends on how sturdy you want it. So really that is all in the world I did. So connecting these two together, you can trim off whatever you don't want to. I think I left it on because I like the sturdiness of this. I wanted it to be a little sturdy, but when the signature goes in, so my plan is the signature would go right here, and we're going to cover the inside, and then it would fold over like this and this. And this is a piece of leather from my stash. I thought it went really well with these background pages. So it would be kind of a soft spine here and here, and then the signature inside. So that's where I'm at this point. So I've covered it, and now I'm ready to cover the inside, but I also am thinking of what is it that I want to do for a closure. So I have a couple of ideas. I thought of just putting an eyelet here and adding some curly ribbon or some sari silk or something. I thought about that. I also thought, maybe I could just put a bunch of different eyelets in here and do like a lacing across. Those are things that I do need to think about before I actually cover this side of it. So I am still working on that, but I figured we could cover the other side over here, and then also we could do what I have chosen to put on the front. So let me show you that. So I took one of the pages from the kit, and I love this one with the jar. I think it's really cool, and all the daisies. I've torn around it, and then I will ink it up. So my plan was to put this on here, and then put this over here as a pocket. And then I wanted to make a couple of tags out of some of the other pages. So for example, I printed 2 pages to a page, but I reduced it down so that they were like, the sizes were 4x6. So these would make really good tags. And of course I would back them and make them stronger. So that's an option there. Also, an option is some of the ephemera that I had left over from the Psalm 91 kit. So I do have some pieces of that over here. So there's even some pockets and some tags, and so I'll probably utilize some of this because we may as well use it. It's already available, and there's even the correct color. I mean, it's perfect for this. And then also in the Amber Spring kit, there's some pieces in there that I thought would go really well with this. So I'm just going to kind of work with it and develop something. So also, a couple other kits that I'm using. I'm using some of Carolyn's Fussy Cut Butterflies. I'm also using some of her Floral Birdhouse set too. So on that, I kind of came up with an idea with some doilies and some of these smaller pages. And I have these really small doilies like this. And I was gifted these a long time ago, and I have a huge stack of them, so I'm trying to use some more of them. And then this is the page that I printed smaller, 4x6 to a page. And then this is one of the butterflies that I cut out, and I thought this would make a really cool tuck spot. So I think I'm going to make a few of these. And also I have some of the birdhouses and some of the colors that go together with that. I've printed some additional items that have the same color. So let me just show you when I print these pages. Here's a full one. They are 2 to a page, but then reduced down to 4x6. So that's what these end up being. So I have all of these, and I thought I could use with the doilies and tuck spots. And then also I can mount these and make tags out of these. So that's this. And then here is some of the things from the other two kits, the butterflies. These are all perfect colors here, different sizes. So I think all of these will work because it has a lot of blue in it, and I think the lavender would go as well. And then look at these. These are just perfect with the coloring that's in here. So I thought I would cut some of these out. Here's some more of the butterflies with some of these colors that go well with it, plus the one I had already cut out. And then here's another one. Not too sure I'll be using this one, but I printed it just in case because I can always add it to my stash. So those are all the things that I've come up with. But I thought what we could do together is I'll try to finish this front part, and then let's get this one side covered. And the pages I'm going to use for covering it are these, and they are also the background pages. I believe these are the background pages from the Daisy kit. No, not from the Daisy kit. These are all from the Amber Spring. So I thought these would go really well together. I like the writing and the coloring kind of went together well. They're two different sheets, but I think they will go pretty well together. So I was thinking this one would go on this side. And actually, I think it's going to be perfect. We'll trim that down. And then I thought this one, I think I'll put this underneath like this. And I thought this one would go well. So I'm going to go ahead and trim these up and at least get this side down. And then we'll work on the front cover. So let me get these all cut down and then I'll come back to you in just a minute. I gave some thought to the closure. So I think what I'm going to do is just add an eyelet, and then I have some of this sari silk and it will go perfect with this. But I also want to add some more hardware here. So I've got my two pieces ready to go. So I'm going to set those aside. And I have some of these brads. And I thought, why not add a few of these? And then I have this for an eyelet, which is like a flower. And that could go in the center. So I thought, well, let's go ahead and decorate this a little bit more on this side. So I think I'm going to put like a couple of brads here, and then maybe 3 here, 3 here, 2, and then we'll put this in the center. So these on these, pretty easy to do. I'm using a punch to make the hole, and I'm just going to eyeball it. And I figured I would get this on before we actually do the inside. So let's just see how this is going to look. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so before I go any further, let's see how this is going to cover our brads. Yeah, it's kind of what I thought. But while we're here, I do have the cover pieces inked. I thought, well, maybe we could put those on. Kind of thinking of this up here, kind of up as high as I can, and then this one, which is praise your way to victory. And he said, hearken ye, all Judah, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem, and thou King Jehoshaphat. Thus saith the Lord unto you, be not afraid, nor dismayed, by reason of this great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but God's. That's 2 Chronicles 20:15. And then trust in the power of hope. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick, but when the desire cometh, it is a tree of life. Proverbs 13:12. So I thought this would be great as a pocket. And then maybe I'll do some gold splatters on this. I kind of think it needs something like that. I was thinking of maybe some texture underneath it, possibly some cheesecloth. So let me grab some of that and then we'll continue on that. Okay, I just coffee dye my own cheesecloth. So I just have done a whole bunch of it, and then I dried it and have it on the hanger over here. Whenever I need some, I just cut me a strip, and then I open it up. So let's see. Let's see if we do some of this. And I think I want all the edges to be just cut, but let's just take a look and see how this looks. I do like that. Let's cut some. Let me just cut here. And then let's just cut here. And then we can reposition it. Cheesecloth is always fun to add to something. Give it a little texture, different texture than what else you may have in your project. Let's just trim this a little bit. And then I want to also trim this side. Whoops. Because I don't want it straight. So let's just trim some of this off, because this has like a edging on it, and I want to get rid of that. You can use it in other projects like clusters. Use this kind of stuff that's left over. So this would be great in a cluster. Okay, so if I lay this back out, kind of spread it, but not too even. And then let's put this on. Yeah, we want that peeking out some more. So spread it and glue it. Make sure it's peeking out. I think that definitely adds some texture. Texture that was needed. Especially since this is the Grunge Daisy kit. And then this would go on here. So then I'm going to put this right here. I use the same glue because of the cheesecloth there. I like this glue also used on various different projects is that it doesn't work, so that is awesome that way. I'm using this kind of glue. I'm doing a color with fabric. I'll use a PVA glue, thin down, and I'll use our glue for various projects. It just depends on what it is I'm going to need. I'm sure you guys have all your favorite glues as well. Okay, so let's see this one here. Oh, I love that brass. I love this color. So I'm going to press this down really good to make sure it fits in here. It's here really well. And then let's do our pocket. So if kind of let this come down, how about that? Okay, same glue. Just make this as narrow within the glue as you can, so that you have room to add in any tags. That's other journals where I found the pockets just not have tags. I really, really like it. Okay, so press this down good. Perfect. So now when this comes over, look how vintagey that looks. I love it. I changed my mind. I printed this background paper from the Amber Spring journal kit, And I like it better because I think it goes really well with the front. So what I'm going to do, I cut these. Actually, you could use this vertical or horizontal, which is why I chose it. And so I have torn it with a tearing ruler. I am going to, and I've inked it. And I've been using walnut stain Distress Oxide. So I'm going to put this on here. But before I do that, I'm going to cover up the prongs. Make these a little bit more secure, and that'll give them some, it won't poke through if I put some of this on here. Okay, I'm going to still use my Fabrifix. So let's get some glue on this paper. So now this needs to dry. So I'm going to just let this sit and let it dry. And then we'll continue on with adding the signature in. Okay, so I have decided that I want to do these signatures with elastic. So what I'm going to do is I made 2 marks here and here, and it's based on the height of your paper. So you want to make sure they're down or above where your paper is, because if not, it's going to cut into this part here. And we'll put one here and here. So let me just show you. I don't know if you can see those 2 marks right here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then that way my elastic is going to be up or down far enough so that it doesn't cut into the edges of my paper. The spine that I made just by folding it is about 3/4 of an inch. So now they are long enough so when the elastic is in, then it's not going to rip or cause these to bend or anything. So that's what you want to be careful of. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these eyelets. So basically I'm just going to go ahead and cut myself some elastic, and I'll just cut a piece. This is some brown elastic that I found. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to start, let's see, I think I start from the inside. I always have to think about this each time. And then weave it up through the other hole like this. So now you have this. And then I'm going to come down here and back up. And then we'll tie it. So let's go ahead and figure out how strong we want it. Just weave this in here. So you want it to be kind of snug. So there's that, and then we'll put this one on. And then we can tie it. So get it as snug as you want it. You want it to be kind of snug, but not super tight. So let's just tie this. I think that's pretty good. And I'm just going to tie it in a knot. And then we'll just cut these down, and eventually we can cut them further down. But now you've got your journal inside here. So this would open up like this. Got all your journal pages. We'll probably add a pocket back here. And then we're going to add some pockets here. And this is going to come over. And then we'll have our tie. So that's where we are so far. So I think what I'm going to do is work on some other items to go inside here. And I wanted to make sure you got the main construction of this. And then what I'll do is I'll show you a flip through at the very end. And hopefully I'll have all kinds of decorations and stuff in here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to go do, and then I'll be back. I thought I'd come back out here and show you a couple of things that I had showed you earlier, but I wanted to show you how to make one. So these are some pockets or tuck spots. I'm not sure exactly what yet, but I put these together, so I wanted to put one together with you. And I've used a bunch of ephemera from the Amber Spring kit and added a couple of there's some really nice sentiments, the Lord Yahweh, and this one is God has a secret place for his own, and Most High Elyon. So these are from Psalm 91 that was left over when I did that tutorial. So I wanted to just come out and show you how I put these together. Now these are the actual pages from the Grunge Daisy kit, but I had printed them 2 to a page and then reduced them again down to 4 by 6. And I did that on all of them because I needed to have some tags as well. So what I've done is I've glued a bunch of them onto this coffee dye paper that I get off of Etsy. So I have these, so I'd have something on the back of them. So these will end up being as tags, and when I do the final flip through with all the additional decorations, then you will see that. So I thought I'd come out and show you this. Pretty simple, straightforward. So these are just some small doilies. If you don't have doilies, you don't have to do this. You could even tear some paper, put that behind it, or you could just decorate actually on the page. So I just added some glue to this and then glued it right onto this doily, right about like so. And then I like this can with the flowers, and then I thought this sentiment would be great. So I'm going to use some puff tape for those, and this is just the same tape that I usually get from Home Depot because it is cheaper, and it does the same thing. I have some of the other stuff too, but if I'm in a crunch, this is pretty much what I use. So we'll put a piece back here, and then I want a piece. We'll do some couple of smaller pieces to go onto the actual sentiment. Let's see if this is enough. Yeah, should be good. And so let's take off the backings. And I inked all of these with the walnut stain. So we'll just pop this guy up right here. And then we'll put the sentiment right down here. So that's all there is to those. Now you can put these on the middle of the page or the corner, wherever you want to put it. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to put it inside the journal yet. Now here's where we are so far on our journal. And when I opened this up, I decided right here in this big area that I wanted to put one of those envelope flips. And I did a recent video on that. And so I'll link that below. I just did a project share, but I'm going to just do a simple one. It's only going to be with a few envelopes, and I thought it'd be perfect right here. On the back here, I'm going to use some doilies, and I'm going to add a couple of pockets like so, and then we'll figure out what we're going to put in here. So that's kind of where we are at this moment. And then on the back, I just added some trim. I thought it needed something right there. So that's where this is at. So let's go ahead and work on this envelope flip. So I have 4 envelopes. So I have this large one that I'm going to put in the back. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on this side because this is going to be turned over, and I want to add this pocket right here. So let's do this one first. And I also have a little strip, see where it happened to it. I have a little strip of paper to go along here. It's probably gotten caught up in something here. Oh, here it is. And then that way when it's glued down, because this will get glued down like this onto that page. So I want to make sure I have something to cover that up. So on this side, just using some of the offcuts and extra pages that I had printed from the Amber Spring or from the Grunge Daisies kits. So that's all I'm doing, just some offcuts and whatever was left over that I had printed. Now one thing I do want to do as well is I'm going to close this top part, and I want to open it down here in the bottom. So if I decide to put something inside this, we can do it more easily having it open here versus trying to do it here. So up here I'm just going to close this off. Just a little glue. We'll close that. And then this will go on here. Let's see. I'm going to make sure where I'm going to be gluing. Okay, so I can go ahead and put this on. I already cut all the pieces, and I used a tearing ruler or my decal edge trimmer, depending on the size that I needed or if I needed to adjust it. So that's what I've used, and inked them all. So I thought this way I can make it a little easier for us to put it together. And when this gets glued down, then this is going to flip up. So we've got that. And then this, I want to just add this pocket. I'll probably add some other decoration, but just going to add this pocket. And then when I do get these pages that I'm going to turn into tags, I'll cut. Then when you see the flip through, you'll see what I put in here. Okay, so that's the back one. The next one is going to be this brown envelope. So this envelope, get my ruler out, is about 6 1/8 by, let me make sure I got this, 6 1/4 by 4 1/2. So that's this one. And this one I'm going to have go this way. So I've just got these papers. They're already inked. I'm just going to glue them down. I'm not going to cut this and make it a pocket here. So this will end up coming here. And then this one actually is going to go underneath this one. So this envelope here, 6.5 by about 4 3/4, a little bit over 4 3/4. Again, use whatever envelopes you have. So this one I want to go this way first, and then this is going to come over, and then we'll have the other envelope over the top. So I want these to go like this. Is going to go underneath here. This one will go over the top. I think I'm going to raise this up a little bit and put this down. And then we have the CD case one. So this one I have already cut as well, used a circle die to make the cut in the envelope, and it's also going to go this way. And I'm also going to open this end up. I want to make it easier to get this card in and out that I am going to put together as well. We'll go here. And then this is my card. It's just a piece of craft cardstock. And then this will tuck in here. And we'll have that beautiful picture showing through there. Okay, so I have, one thing I've done is I've added a tab onto this card to pull it out easier. And so I thought I would add an eyelet, and then I can add a dangle charm. So we'll do that. Let's see, I think I have an eyelet out here somewhere. I did have an eyelet. Oh, who knows where they end up, right? And I'll open this up a little bit more. Just be careful with these, because the narrower area, you just need to take it slow so you don't tear it when you have to reopen the hole just a little bit more for these eyelets, if you get these eyelets off of Amazon. Okay, and let's secure that. Perfect. And then one thing I do want to mention that I did wrong, so you don't do it wrong, is you can't put this back piece on till all of these are glued down. So what I'm going to end up doing is gluing all these flaps down, and then I'll put another piece over the top. So I just want to make sure you don't make the same mistake that I just did by putting that piece on, because you have to wait. Okay, so I will do that off camera, but let me just show you what this will look like inside the journal. What my vision was anyway. So we know what we're doing back there. So this will end up going right here. And then it'll have all these flips, and I'll probably add some more decoration to it, and then I will show you all of that in the final flip through. So when this closes up, I still have plenty of room to decorate and do other ephemera in here. Okay, so I'll be back and we will do a final look at this when I have it completely finished. Okay, I have finished all the decorating in this beautiful journal, and I will also, as I described initially, all the kits that I used in this that are from Carolyn's, and they will all be linked below. So I had this gold sari silk that I get from a shop. I think it's called Felt Better on Etsy. Anyway, it went perfectly with this journal. So again, here we have a front leather piece where we've added the brads on here. And then this is the back with some lace trim. Got some little strings from the sari silk peeking out here. Just grab that. So here we are on the back. Colors just went so well together. And let's open it up. Okay, so here's the front, and I've added this tag. I've also added gold splatters to various areas within this journal. So I've also added gold splatters here. I just think sometimes splatters just adds that little bit of touch that you want to add to your project. We have the cheesecloth underneath, and then I tore around one of the pages. I love this jar. Then we added this scripture as a pocket. So this goes in here. Then let's open it up, and this is how it opens when it's fully open. So the journal is to the right, and then the envelope flip is to the left. So let's take a look at this. So I added a little charm. I had these little roses. Let me see if I can get this up here a little closer so you can see. So we added the charm. I also added gold splatters to this and a tab. It's just craft cardstock, and that goes in here. Now remember, we opened the other side on the opposite side of the flap, so it's easier to pull in and out. And then this opens up this way. I added a card in here. Again, more gold splatters. So you'll see I've done a lot of gold splattering in here. I just really thought it added something to this whole journal. So we have a card there. Now these, remember I explained, these are all the pages, but I printed 2 to a sheet, and then I reduced them down to 4x6. So they're perfect tag size to go in here. And then we have this one over here. Open this up this way. We have one here. Then this opens up this way. Added gold splatters here, and then added this tag or journal card, because you can journal on the back of these. I covered them all with some coffee dye paper that I also get from Etsy. Now, one of the things that I did wrong that I explained to you when I was doing this part of the journal is to make sure that you actually wait to cover the back of this. Let me see if I can get this down here. Cover the back of this envelope after you put all the flaps from all the envelopes together. So that was one thing I made a mistake on. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that. And then this I just glued down. There is a pocket here and a pocket here. I didn't have any additional tags, so you know, you could tuck anything you want to in there. So that would be available also. And then let's look at all the journal pages. Now I used all the pages again, like I had shrunk them down. They're all in here, and I printed some coffee dye paper of another kit of Carolyn's, or I used also her Amber Spring with some of those backgrounds, and I don't remember which ones I did that on, but I did either use the Amber Spring or I may have used some of the coffee dye paper that she has, which is also a kit of hers. Now also I did a lot of gold splattering in here, so you'll see that. And in addition to that, I added some eco dye paper from my stash, and I just thought it went perfectly in here. Here's one of the little scripture cards. It's a smaller one. I won't read all these to you, but I used everything from the End Your Day Right King James Version Bible verses. So I used all of those. We have another card here. And again, they're all back, so you could write on the backs of these. There's a lot of area here for journaling if that's what you like to do. We have more gold splatters here. I just added this as a decoration from the butterfly kit. And then I just used a vintage looking paper clip and clipped a couple more of the scriptures up here. I like the way these are peeking out at the top. And then these are the clusters that I showed you how to make. And then here's the card that would go back in behind it. So I just made these as little tuck spots. I also use doily paper from my stash that I also get from Etsy. And then here we have another card. And all the different scriptures, I think they're just really amazing. If it's something that you need for that day, there's all kinds of different ones in here. Here I just added some of the butterflies and some gold splatters just for some decoration, but you have a lot of journaling space if that's what you like to do. And here we have another one of the clusters, another card that goes behind that. And I also, this is from my stash. This is bubble dye paper. My sister makes this for me. She loves to coffee dye. She loves to bubble dye. And I'm not a real big fan of that. So she makes them for me. So that's bubble dye paper also from my stash. And then I think this is beautiful. I didn't put any gold splatters on this. I didn't want to take away from it. It's such a gorgeous vintagey looking page. So I want to leave it. Now we bound these also, each one, they're with the elastic. So these can come out. Just did some splattering here, add a little decoration here. Didn't do anything here, so lots of area you could journal or decorate with. Here we added a card, and I also added this little fussy cut from the birdhouse kit. Those in there. More of these that I added to the top, and those I did not splatter. Some of the splattering might have covered up the smaller writing more so than it did on the bigger card, so I chose not to do the splattering on those, but they are all inked up. Another page and another tuck spot, little cluster that we made. I love these birds and butterflies. They go so well together. Another card. And just get creative. If you're just going to use the daisy kit, like I said, you can shrink them down if you have that capability. You can make them smaller. You can make the little cards like I did or do other things with it. Kind of make your own ephemera. So here we have another one. And again, more eco dye paper. Another cluster with another card. The Lord Yahweh. I love those. Now, some of these sentiments came from Psalm 91 kit that I did a tutorial on, and they were left over, and I thought, well, I'm just going to add it into this because the coloring was perfect. Here, I just added a decoration. This is not a tuck spot on here, but it went really well on this paper. And here we have another one of the pockets, another card. Another one here, another card. Some I did not gold splatter. I kind of went crazy with the gold splattering, but then I thought, well, maybe I should have a few things maybe don't have. This one I like the splattering on, though. I think that came out really cool. And then we have more of these scripture cards at the top that I just used a vintage paper clip. Just some splattering here. And I added a butterfly here, this pocket, and this card with gold splattering. This side, I did add some gold splattering here and there, and I did this card, another cluster. I think the gold just really kind of popped out some stuff. Now here I didn't do anything again. It's such a beautiful grungy page. I just wanted to leave it alone. And then we added another pocket and another card, more gold, and more gold here with two of these clipped to the top. Here I did some gold splattering, added this tuck spot from this cluster, and then added this card in here. And again, I've mentioned these can all be written on the back if that's what you like to do, is to journal, then you certainly can. Here we have a card here and another birdhouse, and I did some gold splattering on those. I don't know if you can see it. I hadn't splattered in a while. I missed it, so I decided this one definitely needed it. Here's some gold splatters and just added a little decoration there from the butterfly. And then here I did some splattering, added this card. This is from the Psalm 91. I added this bird on the front. Made this cluster. Tuck that in. I didn't do any splattering or anything here or here. And then back here I used a couple of the pockets from the Amber Spring Kit. I added one of these scripture cards in here. And then I had this one in my stash. I'm not even sure where it came from, but I thought, well, the coloring is right. I'll just add it in here. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. John 16:33. So I thought this went perfect with this. So we'll just tuck that back in there. Now again, this was made from two envelopes. And they're the 9x12 envelopes. So that's what this whole structure is made from. Two of them put together, and I explained that in the beginning of the video. So here we are back at the front again. And wrap this around. Whoops. Sorry, silk has a little bit of threads around it. That's okay. I like that. It gives it more of a grungy look. Okay, so this is the Grunge Daisy journal and made out of envelopes and adding some leather and some metal pieces. So hope you like this project. Maybe you'll give it a try. So hopefully some of the things that I showed you in the video would be helpful to you and how I explained how this went together in the very beginning. And hopefully you'll give it a try. I'm positive everyone would love to see what you do, putting it on the Facebook group that Carolyn has. So she's on Etsy, Carolyn Musings. She's on Facebook, and One Way Journals. So if you're part of that group, I know everybody would love to see what you do with possibly even the same papers or different papers and make a journal like this. Okay, guys, well, that's it for now. You guys have a wonderful day. God bless you all, and we'll see you at the next video. Bye.